What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload PvP content every single day, so if you're into that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps the channel grow. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a very accessible team that performs really well. First matchup against M Factor Jr. And if you're looking to move up in the ratings, move up in rank, this team performs really well as long as you know how to use it properly. Here in this first match, we're running up against Galvantula. This is a horrible lead, not only for Skarmory, but for the entirety of the team. All three Pokemon are weak to Electric. However, this team sort of banks on the fact that Electric isn't very common in the Great League. So it's unfortunate we run into Galvantula here, but that's okay. We will tank the Discharge, as you saw. And we got off the Sky Attack, which was really big for us. So we bring in the Charizard and we're able to farm down with one Fire Spin before it could get off any damage. He brings in Whiscash, which again isn't the best situation for us. Whiscash is going to be Charizard despite all its moves being resisted. So here I'm going to go for the Blast Burn. This will do decent damage still just because Blast Burn is so overpowered. And we're going to look to switch into the Azumarill. Now I should have probably waited to have taken a charge move there so that Whiscash won't have as much energy stored in the back. Our opponent brings in Registeel here. And we both have two shields. So I'm going to let this first Flash Cannon go through and go for the Hydro Pump here. And once this Hydro Pump goes through, what we should have done here, considering the situation, was have committed to protecting our Azumarill. Because our Charizard is going to have a really rough time against that Whiscash in the back. So I should have been using both my shields on Azumarill just because that would be our best chance of beating that Whiscash in the back. Instead, I don't commit any shields. The Azumarill is very low. And although we're going to take out this Registeel, which is the correct move by our opponent, you don't want the Charizard to farm down and gain energy. So the Whiscash is going to come in. It's going to take out the Azumarill. And at the time I was thinking the Charizard could probably win this situation given the Whiscash's health. We'll just go for the Dragon Claws, get off some damage. But the Whiscash had too much energy stored and it charges too quick for us to end up winning this matchup here. So in this situation, I'm going to let this Mud Bomb go through. We're going to have to shield the next one, of course. But I realized at this point that I have to commit to a farm down because I'm not going to be able to burn the last shield and get to another charge move. So we're just going for the Fire Spin damage, but as you can see, the Mud Shots end up taking us out and we lose that game. So the correct move was to protect the Azumarill there. We didn't do that, so we end up losing. Lucas Havas is up next in game 2. Skarmory vs Lapras. Another very unfavorable lead. Skarmory is a very good Pokemon and it performs really well. It's only weak to Electric and Fire. However, some of these bulky Pokemon like Lapras will do pretty well against it. I'm going to go for the Sky Attack. And let's see what this Lapras is doing. It doesn't look like it's going for Surf. It actually stores a lot of energy. It brings in the Marowak, which is going to allow us to switch into Azumarill and take control of this match. So this Marowak did gain a lot of energy, and I was afraid this might be a Shadow Ball, but it's only a Bone Club, so he did get the bait on us. Now Shadow Ball isn't going to KO Azumarill, it's going to do about 40% damage, but you definitely don't want to take multiple Shadow Balls. So in this situation here, this is likely going to be a Shadow Ball, but I don't want to burn my second shield just yet, so we let it go through. As you can see, it does about 40% damage. And we are going to go through. This should likely be a Bone Club, so I'm not going to use the shield. If it was a Shadow Ball, it would put us really low. And I think we could farm down here. He actually switched that into the Lapras and doesn't go for the charge move, which is going to allow us to get this Hydro Pump off. And that's going to KO the Lapras. Oh no, wow, the Lapras just survives barely. So very fortunate for the trainer there. Gets off the Skull Bash. It's going to KO the Azumarill, but that additional defense boost isn't going to really mean anything. Marowak comes in. I don't want to play around with the Fire Spin damage, so I just instantly go for the Sky Attack here. Let's see what he has in the back. It's a Vigoroth. So we're in a really good position here. Charizard in the back. Blast Burn is really going to hurt that Vigoroth. Hopefully we do not get farmed down here. Okay, great. He uses his energy. That's perfect for us. We're going to save our shield for the Charizard. And because shields are down, we're just going to farm up for the Blast Burn here. I'm going to shield this Body Slime. It would not KO, of course. But we just want to ensure the victory here. Build up to the Blast Burn. And this should be more than enough to KO the Vigoroth here. And that's going to be a very confident win here in game number 2. And JJWWTTMM is up next. Really happy that Great League is back. Toxicroak is up next, so this is a very favorable lead for Skarmory here. Super effective damage. They switch out, get the switch tray ready. They bring in the Swampert, and I was considering staying in with the Skarmory there, but then I realized I may as well just bring in the Azumarill. This is likely going to be a Sludge Wave, so definitely have to shield here. Have to be very careful with Swampert running Sludge Wave in Great League. All the Swamperts are running Sludge Wave pretty much, and if you could correctly shield the Sludge Wave, your Azumarill is going to be in an amazing position. If they bait you with the Hydro Cannon though, it makes it a little bit more difficult. We're able to farm down here. This should be a Hydro Cannon at this point. I don't think he has enough energy to get to another Sludge Wave. It is a Hydro Cannon. And he goes down. Then we're bringing in the Toxicroak again. We're going to go for the Play Rough, which is going to be super effective. Now, I'm running Play Rough on this Azumarill instead of Ice Beam, simply for the fact that both Skarmory and Charizard are very good against the grass types, so I don't really need the Ice Beam as much. Skarmory could also handle Altaria, and Charizard does at least have Dragon Claw for some damage to Altaria, and Play Rough still hits Altaria very hard. So I think Play Rough is better here for the mirror match because Azumarill is pretty much the only Pokemon on this team that could beat a mirror Azumarill. So if we have Play Rough, we're in a really good spot. Here we are going to, if this is Dynamic Punch, it's really going to hurt, but it looks like this Toxicroak is actually running Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb most likely. So they just end up backing out instead, and we end up taking that matchup there. And Adolfo 2795 is next. Gonna lead Skarmory into the Vigoroth. Okay, so let's see how this match plays out. This should generally be a favorable matchup for Skarmory. Gonna go for the Sky Attack here. And that's going to do a very decent amount of damage to the Vigoroth, but they do choose to shield. This Vigoroth is farming up a lot of energy, expecting back-to-back body slams here most likely. Gonna let it go through though. Or no, we're gonna shield it. It's actually a Bulldoze, wow. So, not sure. I don't think Bulldoze is the correct move to go there in terms of energy efficiency, but he did get our shield anyways, so good for him. Brings in the Skarmory, gonna switch into the Charizard. Charizard is going to have a very good matchup against Skarmory, however, those Sky Attacks from Skarmory are gonna do a lot of damage. I'm going here for the Dragon Claw bait. The Skarmory does choose to shield though, so it did work out for us. And I guess because the Skarmory realized it could get off another Sky Attack, and we did have a charge move right there, but we didn't click it unfortunately. And I know my Skarmory in the back could take this Skarmory out, so I was okay letting my Charizard go down there. Sky Attack is enough to take out the Skarmory. They're going to bring back in the Vigoroth. We have another Sky Attack ready. Let's see if they choose to burn their shield here. They made a switch. That Skarmory is very low in health. Hypno comes out. Hypno is kind of a tricky situation here. Most likely this Hypno is going to be running Thunder Punch, which is going to hit the Skarmory and the Azumarill both for very effective damage. So Skarmory will go down here if this is a Thunder Punch, and it is. So we definitely do not like to see that. We have no shields. Now, thankfully, Azumarill is very tanky, and because these Thunder Punches do not have stab from the Hypno, they're not going to do that much damage. As you could see there, we could take about 3 of those pretty easily. And we'll just go for the Play Rough here. This should almost KO the Hypno. Oh no, in this range it will definitely KO. And the Vigoroth comes back out. Let's see what move this is going to be. It's just a Body Slam, thankfully. We should be able to farm down here. That Vigoroth's almost going to get to another Body Slam. Fortunately, we beat it to the charge when we weren't going to be able to farm down there, actually. Play Rough is enough to KO, and we get lucky to win that one. And we are 3-1 up against Rigbar in game number 5 here. Let's see if we could pull off the 4-1 Jirachi lead. Again, a very unfavorable lead for Skarmory. So in this video, as you've seen, we've had unfavorable leads out of 5 matches. Our opponent switches out though into Swampert. So I'm okay with that, and I'm definitely going to stay in this matchup with the Skarmory. Swampert does have a good matchup against, well, I mean it's even, but it's not too bad in the lead spot. But switching in here, we're in a really good spot because we are going to have an energy lead. I'm going to shield here because I definitely want to maintain switch advantage. So we're going to farm down here and go for the Sky Attack on this Jirachi when it comes back in, assuming it would be the Jirachi. And I miss a lot of bubbles there, even though they sort of made the Sky Attack easier, I guess. And this time we go for another Sky Attack. This Jirachi has a lot of energy now. And is it going to commit to a farm down here? Yes, it is. Okay, so this Jirachi is absolutely loaded. And Charizard would do really well against Jirachi here in terms of its quick move damage. However, I want the Azumarill to take this damage instead of the Charizard. Didn't want to burn my last shield. And it's going to be a Doom Desire. And most likely this opponent's probably going to have an Azumarill or a Registeel in the back, I'd assume. Charizard comes in, as you can see, the Fire Spin did a lot of damage there. And it's actually a Registeel. So this is perfect for us. We could definitely tank the first charge move. Most likely a Flash Cannon here. And because this opponent has 2 shields, we're just going to go for the Dragon Claw. You could probably go for the Blast Burn because part of their win condition, I guess, is hoping that you do bait. So if we had gone for the Blast Burn, he didn't shield there, we would have ended up winning. Now he has to shield. So he is going to use that shield. And at this point, we're just going to commit to the Dragon Claw because he's getting really low to the point where Fire Spins will be enough. And I have a shield ready, so we could build up to one more Blast Burn here. Most likely we'll build up to the Blast Burn. No, he actually outpaces us to the Blast Burn. So, but because we have a Azumarill in the back, I wasn't too worried about getting off that Dragon Claw, which would have won the game. Azumarill will just come in here comfortably and bubble down. And we're going to end up taking that victory. So we go 4-1 there. This team performs really well. If you're interested in trying it out, I do recommend it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.